Hey guys, as always, from my cold, dead hands. Hey, thanks for stopping by. Are politicians' lives worth more than yours? Let's talk about that. Y'all know what's up first. A big thank you to all of you for watching. Hey, if you feel at any point that I've earned a subscription from you, boy, that would be fantastic. And as always, I'm thankful for all of those thumbs up. Big thanks. So I've been working on this question for a while. But recently, the nitwit governor of New Jersey, Phil Murphy, he pushed me over the edge. Let me walk you through this, and then I do want to get a response from you down there. Let's have a conversation. The question I have for you is this: is a politician's life worth more than yours? Now, on the surface, it seems like a silly question. It may seem like I'm asking it a little tongue-in-cheek, but I'm not. I'm actually asking, is a senator's or a congresswoman's life worth more than yours? Now, before I get to where I'm taking you, we've got to first stop right now and first decide on something. And this is either one or the other. It's a fundamental societal question, and we can't even get to the Second Amendment issues until this is decided. Are all humans valued equally? Now, all of you nice folks and all the moms are going to say, well, oh honey, the Lord loves everyone the same and we're all equal under heaven. Now, on face value, yes, we are all of equal value. But then if you stop, it's not that easy. It's not as easy as you might think. There's a classic exercise, and you've done it before, desert island or crashing plane. It's all the same conversation. There's 20 people on a plane. The pilot comes over the intercom and says, this plane is going down. And there's only 10 parachutes. And then we have a conversation about who gets to live and who gets to die in a flaming ball of carnage. The plane may have a doctor on it, or maybe for 2020, a researching biochemist who specializes in airborne diseases. Valuable people. But you get to the last parachute and there's an 8-year-old little girl with her entire life ahead of her, and maybe somebody also who has a terminal illness and only has months to live. It can make for an interesting classroom discussion, but this exercise does play out sometimes in the real world. In 2011, after the Fukushima nuclear reactors melted down in Japan, a team of 250 senior citizens volunteered to join a suicide corps. And they went into the reactors to do the cleanup. Why? Well, their few short years left on Earth were less of a sacrifice than the young and healthy citizens with decades to live. So, are human lives on a continuum of value, more or less for some? Is a small town's doctor life, is his life worth more than the guy who mows that doctor's lawn? One does contribute more to society than the other. Now, don't start typing away. I don't actually believe that. Stay with me. On one hand, we have the idea that some people are more valuable than others. There's a lot of ways we can operationalize that. We could measure by economic contribution to society, maybe by age, who has more or less time to live. And maybe we could quantify value based on IQ and mental capabilities. But regardless of which scale that we use, the essence is that some lives are more valuable than others. And on the other hand, we have the idea that all men and all women are created equal. And that if a ship is going to go down, we are going to save every person with equal vigor. That maybe a child in the womb is just as valuable as your pawpaw sitting on the front porch drinking sweet tea. Now that's what I honestly believe, that human life has value, worth, potential, and that life is precious. Now, isn't that special? Johnny really believes that everyone is special. Well, if I believe that, and I do, I've got to take the next step. I do have to believe that some kid riding his bike by my house is just as valuable as some guy sitting over in the local prison serving a 5 to 7 stint for attempted murder. Because you can't have it both ways. Either we are all equally valued, or there is some sort of sliding scale that we can argue about that places varying degrees of value on humans. But again, I honestly believe that we are all equal, except for Canadians. I hate those people. Now, you can't tell everything about a person from one thing, but there are moments that are telling. With all the nonsense going on with guns and ammo and gun stores being essential or non-essential, we have had to ask our elected officials a lot of questions lately. The other night, a gentleman asked New Jersey Governor and moron Phil Murphy, how? How can he shut the state down and literally separate every citizen from the ability to purchase a firearm or ammunition while the governor still has 24-hour armed security? And if he was going to shut down the Second Amendment for his citizens, would he be willing to give up his security and have to call 911 like everybody else? And what did Phil Murphy do? He giggled. He literally giggled. His response was to point out that yes, the man sitting next to him had a pistol in a gun-free zone, and the governor said, "It is what it is." And that has me asking the question, if it is what it is, what is it? What is the fundamental belief system that drives power-hungry statists to giggle at citizens? I propose to you that they believe their lives are more valuable than yours, your spouse or partner, your parents, and your children. That they can be armed and you can't. Now, who is this they? It's those in power. They want to keep their power and they want to make sure they never lose control, because an armed populace is a dangerous populace. During this pandemic, what's the first thing they did in a lot of states? Yep, they wrote gun legislation. I also want to submit that there is no such thing as an anti-gun politician. Yes, I know I say that all the time. But to be clear, they are all very much pro-gun. Publicly anti-gun Nancy Pelosi, she has full-time armed security 24/7. Chuck Schumer, full-timed armed security. Island tipping Hank Johnson, the author of Bill 5717, literally the most dangerous piece of legislation that has ever been written as far as the Second Amendment. He goes to work every day in a building full of armed guards. And your children go to school in a gun-free zone. Why? Because those in power believe their lives are worth more than your children's lives.